Hello, my name is Hitendra Patel. I'm the Managing Director of the Global Innovation Management Institute. I'd like to welcome you and join our vision and our mission of the Institute. Our vision is to democratize innovation everywhere, in organizations like universities or corporations, in high schools, in governments. And the idea is to unleash that creativity across the globe. Our mission is much more simpler: to train 1 million people worldwide, certify them, and unleash their creativity and their problem-solving skills to target any problem on this planet. The Global Innovation Management Institute has got certifications for individuals, for corporations, as well as for the government. And the whole idea over here is through certifications, people have the right to practice innovation. Through certifications, we create a roadmap for how to get better and improve as we get level 1 certificate to level 2 to level 3. We are today working with the Dubai government, the Qatar government, across Colombia, in Brazil, in the United States, helping these institutes and these countries become better in terms of their innovation journeys. We're working with corporations, giving them roadmaps, how they can go from level 1 to level 2. And we're giving certificates to individuals as they go from level 1, 2, 3, and 4 in terms of how they can actually innovate themselves, how they can innovate in teams, and how they can innovate in a company.
We've worked with several innovation consultancies, and we found the GIMI methodology to be able to help us democratize innovation very quickly across large groups of people.
Curriculum isn't enough anymore. We need to really be finding ways to expand the school into the community and bring the communities into the school. And design thinking and the GIMI impact model is what's going to help do that. I think that we really need to start looking for authentic, experiential learning opportunities for our students. And this is a really great framework that teachers can use that makes it easy to do.
The value that we see being part of the GIMI program is that we can offer capability building for students, for professionals, for corporations, and that's really exciting to be able to create a language that can help everybody connect with what strategic innovation is.
Today we've got 25 countries who are partners of the Global Innovation Management Institute. We'd like to see all 195 plus countries becoming part of this institute. So we are looking for training partners across the globe. We're looking for university partners in every one of those countries so they can be part of our network. And we would like to see companies and corporations around the world all embracing the certification programs of GIMI. And as a result, we can target any problem and we can solve any problem. Join us on our mission through certificates to give people the right to practice and a roadmap of how to improve.
Thank you very much. Welcome, innovators. Welcome in another week of the GIMI Think Tank. As you might know, GIMI Think Tank is an online platform where we invite speakers from around the world, basically to come and talk about an exciting thing around innovation. It might be a cutting-edge trend, might be something related to a new innovative framework, or might be basically a GIMI program that is getting implemented around the world. The main aim and the main goal of this network is to create a solid and agile community of innovators who can share between each other, can exchange knowledge, and can help each other in solving big and bold challenges. I am very happy today to have a friend, which is Paulo, and if you can help me spotlight Paulo. Actually, we met with Paulo several months ago, and he is very excited and an enthusiast when it comes to food of the future and innovations in food industry. He's the founder and CEO of the Food Tech Hub Latam, and he will talk today about the collaborative innovation and entrepreneurship, and always with a focus on the food of the future. He's a food engineer, graduated from Unicamp. He's from Brazil. He earned an MBA basically there as well. And furthermore, he has enriched his experience also with different executive programs in Wharton, in Columbia University. He has been CEO of Danisco Ingredients for Latin America, and he is part of different boards in several companies, big companies in food industry. He has been also honored as one of the top 5 executives in Brazil in 1999. And as the founder of Food Tech Hub Latam, he has created this thriving ecosystem for food innovation in Latin America. This is a great hub, actually, where that GIMI is trying to create a partnership and to promote more our methodology in this in the food industry. Paulo, welcome. Thank you for accepting my invitation. And first of all, before starting, let us know a little bit more about your passion when it comes to innovation and this particular intersection, which is food industry, which is very important.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I think for GIMI Institute, which is a wonderful initiative to democratize innovation. Yes, I'm a food engineer. When I worked with the Nisk Ingredient, which is a Danish company before they were acquired by DuPont, I got this vein of innovation. So my whole career was focused on innovation. And that's what I want to share with you today, what we are doing in Latin America based on Campinas, Brazil. And Erila, for sure, we are going to be together in this journey. We will continue our discussion on how to implement this in Brazil in a proper way, okay?
Thank you, Paulo. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I will share my presentation. I will do in 20-25 minutes, and then of course, I'm open to discussion. So that's we believe in collaboration for innovation. I will explain how is our vision to achieve that innovation and entrepreneurship. Is moving? No?
No, not yet.
No, wait a minute. I will start again. In our test, it does fine. During the presentation, not.
No worries.
What now? No?
No.
Wow.
I believe you. Oh, perfect. Let's see.
Okay, now.
Yes.
So, Food Tech Hub Latam, we sign Turn Your Innovation to Business because we believe that innovation has to be with a look for the business. I will start saying to those that don't know very much Brazil that agriculture is responsible for 23% of GDP in Brazil. And we are the first producer of soya in the world. There's the second in corn, orange, and sugarcane. So that's what the importance of agriculture in Brazil. But few people knows that the food industry is normally responsible for 10% of GNP too. So if you take the agri-food chain, is 1/3 of our GNP. So it's very important sector for Brazil. And the food industry in Brazil is the first producer and export of orange juice, first producer and export of sugar cane, second producer and first exporter of bovine meat, second producer and first export of chicken. We have a lot of chicken in Brazil, very cheap protein for accessible to people. Second export of soluble coffee, third producer and second export of soya oil, and swine also, we are in the good position. So it's a very important industry. We have more than 36,000 between small and large food industry in Brazil. So when people say why I decided to create the Food Tech Hub Latam in 2018 is because we want to leverage even more the food industry through innovation. That's our main goal when we decide to do that. And that was, I start to think about, I traveled to Europe, see models, and I went to see at that time, Food Valley was very much regarded as a good ecosystem. I learned a little bit and then start to build up in Brazil. So what is important is, say, our vision. When we wrote that in 2018, we said that our vision is to create a cooperative, innovative environment with physical and intellectual infrastructure to create one of the best food innovation ecosystems in the world. So the intellectual infrastructure is the Food Tech Hub Latam, and the physical, I will show late in the presentation, is the Tropical Food Innovation Lab, where we build a very nice infrastructure to really train people in innovation, but train people in the process with physical infrastructure, okay? And also, we want to be facilitators of open innovation. So that is the ecosystem, and we join university. I came from industry. I have a very good contact with the Brazilian government, especially with the Agriculture Ministry, where I'm leading today the group of food ingredients for a Brazilian. We are preparing a plan for Brazilian government in food ingredients, and then we join entrepreneurs and ventures. And here is a comment. When I start Food Tech Hub Latam, there was no food tech startup in Brazil, only agitech. Helena may remind that, and then we believe that the Food Tech Hub Latam helped the food techs in the market. So we are quite happy on that. So, but when we say food tech, but we see the whole food system, we have members in the Agri arena, but we check the whole chain from the field, production, processing, distribution, retailing, and of course, very important, the consumer. We want to be close to the consumer to see the demand for the food of the future, right? So our verticals of interest, everything that is new products, new ingredients, we look at process and new technologies. We are right now, as an example, we are developed a partnership with UV technology for pasteurization, which is a quite new one in the market. That's this kind of technology we want to support. We also go for agri-reg. We are very into Brazil is doing that for many years. It's not new to the farmers in Brazil, and Brazil has a program of biofertilizers in Brazil with more than 700 patents already now in Brazil with new biofertilizers, let's say. Smart packaging, also important for us. Food loss and food waste. Food loss, we have a program with Bayer. We have this kind of challenges for a startup. We do a lot with them. And nutrition and wellness. And then, of course, we in the X, we see technology and people capability encompassing all these verticals. Say why to invest in Brazil. Brazil has the largest biodiversity in the planet with more than 20%. We have a very good university and food technology centers like Embrapa and Itaú. Our research is very capable, let's say. Food industry, as I said, 10% of GDP. We have developed a very strong venture capital industry for a startup, very, very strong. And we want to help this entrepreneur culture in the country. So that's why we say. So there is some of the examples of what the university partners in knowledge and technology. We have Embrapa. Embrapa, I don't know if you some of the audience know, Embrapa, we regard as responsible for the level of agriculture we have in Brazil today. Is one of the most largest producing food in the world. Exalc too, and some others. So industry, we have as partners the main association. ABIA is a Brazilian Food Association, more than 100 companies, big companies together as associate. ABIR is soft drinks, very strong. ABRI is packaging. So we got together all the partners, and we one of the things we did good, we plugged very fast Food Tech Hub Latam in the world with the community. We start with the Food Valley, and then we went to the Kitchen Hub, also EIT Food, where Food Tech Hub is the formal partner of EIT Food in Latin America for all the programs they have in Europe, and Fraunhofer. So we have a very strong relation with the international partners. And say, what is the benefit we see? Power of collaboration, always bringing together companies to develop together. A network of opportunities. We join companies with startup with university with the startup. So this kind of a network of opportunities. We also have a market exposure. We have a portal called Food Tech Hub News, where we publish initiative in innovation, and that's one thing for free for the members. And learning and sharing, that's what we are talking here, learning and sharing, and that's what we want to do with the GIMI initiative, teaching people how to really implement innovation. We do events to get together the community. The most famous one is International Food Tech Forum that we run in June. We run the last edition last June, was a quite good success. We run together with the International Food Tech Expo, where we expose the food techs to the market, getting together companies and investors. So they have a one-to-one meetings, all these kind of things. We do the World Food Day with Bayer. Bayer is sponsoring this program. And also the last one is Coffee with Innovation. We do 3 times a year, all discussing innovation. This is not a selling event, all to discuss innovation with the topics that we decide. There's some of our brands of this challenge, as I said, Food Loss Challenge with Bayer, Food Protein with EIT Food, Food Package with the Association of Packaging. So we do this challenge with the startup to really see and get them together with the community. Here's some of the members. We have formally members, Bayer, Givaudan, BRF, Cargill, JBT, Biller, Mondelez, Unilever, Danone, and now Siemens, Nestlé join us too. So we have these members where we can promote the innovation methodology, as Ariel said in the beginning. That's what we want to do in Brazil, and train these the collaborators of these companies in innovation. Some of the startups we have more than 3,000 startups in our database today. And when a company which is member call us to solve a challenge, we look as in his database and see if the startup can solve the problem of the big companies, or we go to the university and see what they can do. So this kind of work we do for the companies to speed up innovation in their portfolio. And then I come now with the physical infrastructure. This Food Tech Hub intellectual network, digital platform, working as a community. And then 2020, I start to think about that we need the infrastructure in Brazil. And I look for ITAU. ITAU is the Food Technology Institute in Brazil. And it's a public institute. And then I talked to the director, say, I want to do this. And then she said, yes, okay, let's work on that. She worked in the law, legal part of the process. And I start to articulate how to get companies to invest in physical infrastructure. This is ITAU in Campinas. Campinas is 1 hour from São Paulo. To those that don't know Brazil very much, is very close. Campinas was last week by the government of Brazil regarding the city of innovation in Brazil. Campinas is the city of innovation in Brazil. And they got this title because it's deserved, because they really have this several institutes like ITAU, like Unicamp, the university. We have Campinas Agronomic Institute, very famous, in Embrapa. So it is, so we decide for Campinas because of this, and also infrastructure, good airport, very good access, and so on. So who makes the tropical? So I got together Biller, which is Swiss company producing equipment, very famous in the wheat chain and also extruders. Cargill, as everybody knows Cargill, huge company. Givaudan is Swiss company too, dealing with the ingredients, one of the top ones in the world. Food Tech Hub and ITAU, and then we join to produce the tropical, and then we have a supporting partner, Electrolux, with build the demo kitchen, as we say. So these companies gave us $3.5 million to build the infrastructure in a consortium, and this consortium is managed by Food Tech Hub Latam. So the value proposition is looking the food of the future. We want to co-create the food of the future with a new food process on focus on accessible nutrition, co-develop, and then we say that those that are part of this infrastructure is in forefront of Latin America food of the future. Main pillars is excellence and expertise, transformative ideas, co-creation, sustainable premise, and also, of course, food safety and responsibility, because food safety is very tricky for the food of the future, because we know food safety for what we are doing right now, but we don't know, for instance, for precision fermentation or alternative protein or whatever is coming. And so we are focused on that too. Main activity in the center is entrepreneurship. We have the space to incubate 8 to 10 startups per batch, where we will give all the methodology and support to develop their business, connection, generation of opportunities, product co-development, exchange and expansion in knowledge and communication. We want to communicate right to the society. Everybody knows that the food industry is passing a very turbulent times with this topic of food, ultra processed food, that as a food engineer, I really don't know what it is, but the fact is that the food industry is having a hard time, but we want to communicate science-based correct to the society. Our focus area in this infrastructure is new food and beverage, new technology and process, health and wellness, and sustainable process. And also in this new food, we focus very much in alternative protein, right? This is what we built. We divide in 4 verticals to better understand. We have the pilot plant. We have a extruder. the only one in Latin America, extruded from Biller, very high technology to develop plant-based products, from hamburgers to sausage to snacks, dry and wet, we say. So we can test their new products. We have labs all equipped with top equipment, state-of-art equipment to support the pilot plant. We have a demo kit space where we can test with the consumer what we produce in the pilot plants. And we have a very nice co-work area to get together the community. This is the area, 1,500 square meters. We start with the extruder, as I say, but we are buying right now the whole complete line from Omve, Netherlands, for UHT line for, vegetable milk or yogurt and so aseptic, so companies can try pilot testing in this area too. So we are going to have the food and the beverage by the end of this year. There is a more picture that we can see better. And that's it, what we say. But just to finalize the presentation, say what we are seeing in Brazil and in Latin America is that we are forming a lot of ecosystem in Brazil and Latin America, and we are promoting in September the first forum, Latin America Forum of Ecosystem. So we want to integrate in Campinas the ecosystem in Latin America. To do what? To do innovation, to teach innovation, to bring this innovation and the company's mind. Erila, in the forum, I have a panel called, I asked for 6 directors of innovation of the main companies in Brazil. And the first question I asked is, do you have a budget for innovating your companies? Because we talk about innovation, but I said, do we have a budget for that? Do the company support innovation? The company pay for teaching innovations? And this kind of discussion we are running in Brazil right now. So saying that, 28 minutes, Erila, sorry for talking too much, but I want to share with you. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Paulo, for the interesting discussion and case study that you showed to us. Before we move to the Q&A section, and I'll leave it to Hitendra to moderate that part, we have another promo video of GIMI. In the meantime, the others can think about the questions.
GIMI Think Tank has a weekly webinar series where we talk about innovation trends. We talk about innovation management, and we talk about what's going on in innovation in other parts of the world.
In the startup world, 80% of seed stage funded startups do not get to break even or.
So you have the digital world with all the simulations that you build, for example, in digital twins and so on, and then you build your real world.
You can buy a code, you put that code on, we'll scan it when we get the parcel or letter, check that you actually paid and only used it once, and send it.
You make a number of experiments, you test, but you also need to know when to pivot, so you commit.
Our job as GIMI is always to produce insights. Insights means something new to the world, something that says, wow, I didn't know that.
Thank you. Hitendra?
Good. Paulo, what a fantastic presentation. Really enjoyed it. My name is Hitendra Patel. I'm the Managing Director of GIMI. and we'll have a next 20 minutes discussing innovation, my favorite topic, and it seems to be yours also. Paulo, you started off by saying Brazil is the breadbasket of the world. I mean, it was number one, number two in nearly everything, nearly every food product there was, right? And then behind that, it was the balance of grain as well as the balance of protein, meaning both those industries are going at the same time. We are seeing protein maybe replicated or replaced by maybe grain-based proteins, or basically alternate protein is what we're talking about. And in a country like Brazil, just let's start with first. You are the country of churrasco. You are the country of the best carne, the best meats and everything else, amazing food. How do you see people's tastes changing, even though science pushes forward protein?
Yeah.
Which is alternate. The people will still say, I love the smell of the churrasco. So how do you put these things together? So let's begin with a Brazilian view of food, taste, and science.
You see, thank you very much for a very nice country and also the invitation. Look at, we will have a gap of protein by 2050 of, depends on the numbers, we say 50 to 60% because of the population. So we have to find alternative way of producing protein. That's the main question. And it might be through fermentation, might be cell-based, might be plant-based or whatever. But the thing is, companies, even though we love churrasco, we have the largest protein producer in the world here in Brazil, JBS, BRIF, and they are all of them invest millions of dollars in cell-based products, because they know that people will choose what to eat, and they have to be prepared to the new consumer. Take my daughters. When I am eating chicken, they cry because they know that I kill a chicken to eat the chicken. So the new generation, they don't want to do that anymore. But we, Itendra, we want to eat what we want to eat, but we have to see this transformation coming, and the company must be prepared. And when we invest in the Tropical Food Innovation Lab with the Struder from Biller, we want to develop the market with nutrition accessible. It's not for a niche. We have soya in Brazil. We are the largest soya being produced in the world. And fortunately, GMO is fading away because it is part of the past. People accept more and more soya. So that's what we are talking about.
No, wonderful, Paulo. About 2001, I worked with Bungi in São Paulo and also in Gaspar, where they had all the soy crushing facilities and everything else.
Yes.
And we discussed at that moment that there was opportunity for soy to become the alternate protein for hamburgers. And the mindset of all the management, or the mindset of all the people who were, you and me to a large extent, was impossible, we'll never give up meat. And then our kids came along, and our kids, your daughters, and usually it's the women or the girls who are much more talking about this, and then they eventually convert the guys, where they basically started saying, hey, look, carbon footprint, they talk about killing, ethical stuff, and also health. There were three drivers of trends that basically says, yes, it looks like we're looking for a healthier, more ethical, and a less carbon consuming for producing protein. So I can see the trends are coming, but it's you and me who are still in power of the organizations. And are we able to make those changes happen, or is it really a bottom-up change? So first, my question is, as you talk to all the leaders of JBS, the leaders of McCormick or Givaudan, do they also understand that we are about to have a replacement of protein, animal protein, with alternate protein?
The answer is the tropical. They invest $3 million in Struder and infrastructure, and Givaudan, you mentioned Givaudan, they have the same concept in Asia, They have the same concept in San Francisco with Mr. Food, and they have the same concept in Brazil now. So all these will exchange recipes, let's say, for alternative protein. So I think the thing is we need to reach the level where the price parity is like other products. So we cannot put product in the market which is a niche. Another example is the vegetable milk. Now the price is going down. And yesterday, I'm here in the south of Brazil visiting a factory yesterday. They produce oat milk. They start with the 4,000 liters. Now is 1 million liters a month. So people, because the price is going down with the scale, and people are starting to say, well, it's an alternative milk for me.
Yes.
It takes a journey. It takes a journey.
No, we are seeing that with energy also, where you got carbon energy, and then you got solar energy and wind energy, and the prices to come down to be equal or less and deliver the same value.
Yes.
So certainly that will never be part of the change of the equation of society. Let me ask you a question in terms of the research that you're doing. One of the things is we were gifted by God by our tongue, and our tongue tastes food, and food, if it tastes bad, we don't eat it. If it tastes good, it has to taste good. It doesn't matter if it's healthy, it has to taste good. How much of your research is around protein, carbohydrates, and other stuff versus flavors and taste?
Yeah, I think you say, who the hell will eat the food that you hate? That's why diet is difficult to work with. So no, that's why we joined together the pilot plant to produce the food of the future and tested in the demo kitchen. Because one thing, you have to prepare the plate. You don't eat a meat hamburger alone, the meat. You prepare a hamburger. That's the wrong concept. They say, take the plant-based hamburger alone. It's awful. So you have to put ketchup, mustard, and a nice lettuce, leaves, and so on. Prepare the plate. We are preparing a plate with mycelium, a protein, in the demo kitchen. People, the president of Cargill Worldwide was there visiting us, and he was saying, "Oh, tastes very good." So because we put the salad together with the mycelium and together, so you have to prepare that. And this kind of thing, we when I say communication to the society, we have to communicate right, because they have to understand what they are eating. And again, we brought Givaudan together with us because of the taste. You know, remember, I was CEO of the Nisk Ingredients. I was competitor of Givaudan many years ago, so I know about the taste. Have to be very nice food.
So let me ask the next question is, as you look at the foods that your hub is focusing on, there is protein, there is carbohydrates, there is, of course, some vitamins and other nutritional ingredients that you put inside the food. And in here, where do you see the focus? Is the focus on protein, or is it on carbohydrates, or is it on fibers, or where is the actual focus on? Or is it a combination of all the ingredients, all the core elements of food?
Combination has to be nutritious. Nutritious is not only protein, is fiber, is sometimes probiotics, sometimes whatever. It have to be for you. That's what we call a personalized nutrition. And that we are going to that, right? With artificial intelligence and so on. It's for you, that you swim or you run or you do nothing or whatever, but it's for you. But it has to be nutrition and taste. Nutrition, health, and taste combination.
Perfect. I like that, Paulo. But help me understand how you are able to. Are you adjusting or adapting? Because there's always a fad in the market. Oh, protein diet, or carbohydrate diet, or no bread diet. And you got all these little trends coming all the time. And you're the food scientist. You guys know at the end of the day what food really is And these are just trends, and they're temporary trends, and they come and they go, but they do affect what happens in the supermarket shelf. So how are you staying with the trends today? For example, I'll throw one more. Every Gen Z, 30% of Gen Zs has got some sort of intolerance. They got intolerance to maybe wheat, intolerance to milk, intolerance to honey, intolerance to peanuts. And my whole team is smiling right now. They know who they are. Right? So my question is, how do you adjust to this, the fact that that wasn't the case, and you have to really produce food at scale and volume, which is healthy and nutritional, while we got all these trends going on, which are trends to a large extent, temporary trends perhaps.
Yeah, first we are democratized disease, right? Yeah. I never saw so much disease in the human being as today. So we are democratized disease too. So this is the point. But we want to do, you see, in the food industry, when you remove sugar, which everybody knows now that is not so good for your health, when you remove salt, when you remove fat, saturated fat, which is all these three main components, you change the whole process in the food industry. You have to adapt your equipment, your process, and so on. But still, you have to produce a product with replacement of the salt. So otherwise, you taste so bad that nobody will buy your product. So how you do that? With mycelium, with different kind of products to replace the bad ones, let's say, to the less harmful to your health.
Got
it. That's what we have to work. It's not that we reached the level yet, Hitendra. It's that we have to replace this that we now know that's not so good for those food ingredients, safe, approved, no allergenic, everything for your table.
Perfect. So let's take this now to the hub that you have built. First of all, congratulations. What an amazing hub, number of startups, those industry partners that you have around it. And you've certainly built an amazing ecosystem for at least setting the right direction for what you need to work on and all that. So let's talk about that from a governance perspective. First, let's talk about you. Paulo, how did you get this thing started? This is a lot of work. And it can't be, it happened in one day, because it's an amazing ecosystem that you built. So tell me, why did you want to start it, number one? And what is the first step?
Yeah, I see. Thank you for that. I have some fight with my wife because of that. But you know, when you have a dream, you have a dream, right? And Hitendra, I have another company, M&A company, and there was a consulting arm, and I built up a very small hub, agtech, for one of my customers. I say, why I'm building this for I'm going to build for what I love, which is food. So that was the first insight I had. The second one was I read in 2017 an article of Boston Consulting Group say that the economy will be an economy of ecosystem. Economy of ecosystem. So it's not sector anymore. The economy, the business you build in the ecosystem. So join these two things, my love with innovation and this trend, which we are seeing that. Say, I'm going to start the food tech hub.
Perfect. You know, I mean, I totally agree with that one, Paulo. We have an expression in GIMI where we say, the basis of competition of the future is not my company versus your company, but my ecosystem versus your ecosystem.
Yes.
So very similar in that context.
Yes.
So
yes.
Totally aligned in the thinking. So you took the first step and said, let's build this ecosystem of virtual. Initially it was virtual and then become physical.
Yeah.
Right. So on the physical, help us understand what was the story you told each of the partners who came on. What was the story?
Thank you very much again, Andrew. I was in Budapest and for the EIT food meeting, and then I met a guy, a Brazilian guy, Alexandre from Givaudan, and say, Alex, I want to build a Mr. Food in Brazil. First reply, say, you're crazy. You're never going to do that. No, say, yes, I want to do that. I'm going to do that. And I want the support of Givaudan because you did that in Mr. Food alone. And I want to do with partners. Because in Mr. Food, is full 100% Givaudan investment. And say, okay, after 2 weeks, he called me back, say, okay, Paul, let's try to do that. And then I went to Itaú, the food technology, whose director was graduate with me in Unicamp. Say, Luisa, I want to do a Mr. Food here at Itaú. Again, you are crazy, Paulo. We are public institution. We are not going to do that ever. Okay, but promise one thing, try to check. And she tried. And we start that.
Wonderful.
And then came the pandemic, the COVID, right? We stopped 2 years, but it's still doing articulation. And then we brought Cargill, which has an innovation center 15 minutes from the tropical. They have invested $15 million in this innovation center, and they invest 1 million more in us. Why? Because they want to be in the ecosystem. Because, as you say, they realize that they cannot do alone anymore. So, and then we build up the consortium, which is a legal entity, which I'm the manager. Food Tech Hub is the legal manager of the Tropical. And then the worst thing is the governance, right? And then came Cargill with 15 tons of compliance, Givaudan with 13, Biller with 10, all the compliance put on the table, never work. I say, people, we are ecosystem. Take a blank sheet and start to write the governance. For us, ecosystem, not companies. And then took a year. And then during this process, IP, Hitendra, who is going to earn the IP? Another discussion. 1 year more. That is the building of the ecosystem model.
Yeah. Paulo, first of all, congratulations, because you are bringing together very powerful partners, and then you have to align them to point in the same direction.
Yeah.
And they want to be, in some case, if they put money, they want to be the leaders of the decisions and governance and all that. And to build an ecosystem requires a lot of talking, and reviewing and all that kind of stuff. And Ariela will tell you she does a lot of that also with GIMI. So very similar kind of challenges that we face. But you have done a nice job of aligning the cats, pointing in the direction. So now let me ask you, because there are other people are listening who are also responsible for hubs. Some of them are responsible for mining hubs. Some are responsible for AI hubs and all that. They're trying to create hubs also with this independent set of companies together. What is the magic that aligns them together? What are the 2 or 3 success factors that you have identified? Yeah, go ahead.
Trust.
So trust. But the word trust is easy. That's a what. How about how do you build trust?
Implement things, clear governance, trust. One thing that helped me, I have a past in the food industry. Everybody in the food knew me because I was CEO of the NISCO. I supplied them in a way, all these companies. So this gave me a first step, say, okay, Paulo knows what he's talking about, let's say. And then building up this trust together. Lot of discussion. It's not this easy, but once you say, we want to build together, and now we are in that stage now at the Tropical. People say, I don't want to talk about Cargill here as a company. We want to talk about Tropical. That is a big step.
Very good.
Big step. Big step.
In your governance, in terms of deciding what to work and all that. How is the structure? There's the leadership structure, and then there's committee structures, or are they structured by the focus areas? How did you do that?
Yeah, we have a committee we call leadership committee. We meet every Friday, at least for 1 hour. To every Friday. It's now go up to 3 years every Friday. Yeah. And then we create committees: innovation committee, fiscal committee, financial committee, and all these kind of things to a partnership committee. Because, for instance, we have one thing very important to say: in the founding partners, we cannot have competitors. So some Simrise cannot be in the table as a governance lead, but they can participate as a member. IFF can participate as a member. Ingredient, competitor of Cargill, can be member, but cannot be investor, because otherwise it's a mess. Nobody will open the mouth to discuss anything. So that's one thing Mr. Food made a mistake. They put Nestle and Danone together, and then it took 3 years to get rid of this model and then implement the right model with no competitors in the governance area.
Paulo, very interesting. And then in terms of funding, you got funding for the building, but you still need funding for operating the infrastructure and all that. So does it come from membership, or does it come from the founders? How does that work?
Yeah, we in my project, in the initial program, was 5 co-founders, investors, 5. We have 3. We closed another one, which is Elena Ambipar, is an environment company. They will put $1 million more, and we are talking to some others to put 1 million more. That's one part of thing. What we did here, which is very new, is we are discussing with the funding agents from the government of São Paulo. If a founding part came with $1 million, they will cover $1 million for us together. So why? To train people to this 1 million from the funding agents, the public funding is for people, doctors, graduates, and then so we build up the profession of the future with this money. So that's
very clever. That's very clever in terms of balancing the budgets over there.
Yeah.
The reason I'm sharing this, asking these questions, is there are many people who are trying to build innovation hubs, and they haven't figured out the funding mechanism, the resource mechanism to keep it going, to sustain it. They can get it started because it's the right thing to do. Everybody agrees, right thing to do. But people don't know how to make it work. And it seems like you have cracked the code on that quite a bit.
Yes.
My follow-up question on this thing is, now you've got all this focus areas for innovation. And inside there, you've got potentially startups who are lined up with the focus areas. Are you finding a business model that allows you to collect some money if a startup connects with one of the big companies, as Tropical? Does Tropical collect a fee for doing the introductions or anything else? Is there a second business model that you guys are pursuing?
Yeah. In terms of revenue model is membership, of course. We have this maintenance partner, which is a grade below the founding partner. So it's half of it, $500,000 as Electrolux. They put we say maintenance partner, something like that. They can put the logo and so on. That is one thing. Remember, also courses like we are talking about, innovation course, to bring companies to, they will pay a fee for us, right? This kind of thing. Events, and this kind of thing. Or people that are not members, they can do spot tests in the infrastructure as well. Fine. But one thing is very important, very, very important. OPEX, you have to bring the government to support OPEX. That's what we are talking about now. Because the model here is these agents, Elena, FAPESP, FINEP, all these, they have a lot of money. FAPESP has 404 million euros a year to invest in science And our talk is, why don't you invest in an ecosystem? We made a strategy together, Tropical and FAPESP, and we invest $30 million in 10 years, $3 million a year, and we develop together instead of going project by project. That is the model. But it takes time, but will come.
Very good, Paulo. Paulo, we are about to hit 10 o'clock, and we can continue talking, but people will be dropping off. If there was a message or a signal that you want to leave for everybody to say, what would be that 1 minute message? I'm going to give you a little bit of think time. The message could be, if you are really successful as the hub, what kind of food will we get in the future? If you are really successful in terms of what you're doing, what kind of interactions do you expect between companies and startups and universities? If you're really successful in the future, what are the outcomes that you anticipate from the hub? And as you share that, what help would you like to have from people in this ecosystem of GIMI?
Thank you very much. We set our goal, you say, we want to explore the biodiversity in Brazil. We want to create 2 new products every year with the Brazilian biodiversity, with the same bio functionality as the actual ingredients we have in your table. That's one concrete target. Second target is create a platform for the food industry to transform, because we need a more sustainable process in the food industry. Low carbon footprint, no solvent, digital, more efficient. To do what? To reduce process cost, to get the product of the table more accessible to all the consumer. All the food industry has to pass this transformation. That's another target for us. And the third target, we are talking here, how to prepare the profession of the future for the food of the future. It's not. And then when you see food industry compared to the tobacco industry, we have a problem to solve. We have to say, people, look at it. This is a nice industry. We will train you to do sustainable things. This generation that are listening to us now, they have a purpose that Hitendra, maybe we didn't have too much in our time, but they have. And we have to be prepared for that. So that is, it's not financial what we are generating. We want money. There is no profit and loss there. We want money to recycle and reinvest. That is the revenue will come. And they say, the last message is, if you have a dream, don't give up. Is very simple, but you know, there will be a lot of people saying to you that it will never work. This will never work, Paulo. This will be crazy. This will never, but put the strength of implementation. Implement things, not only talk things. Implement. That is the key of your trust. When you do that, people say, okay, he's talking, but he's doing.
Yeah. Paulo, well, fantastic presentation, and we'll stay online. But I just want to let the people who need to leave. So I'm going to maybe summarize from my side what I heard you say. What Paulo is doing right now is putting together the players across the value chain that gives us the food that we eat today and the food we're going to eat in the future. In there, we're talking about the people who get the grains and the raw proteins and the meats and all that together, and then assembling it and putting it together with ingredients, flavors, and everything else to put something out which is better and cheaper and healthier for you as you eat it. Imagine a world where when you go to eat, if these guys are really successful, the more you eat of whatever comes out of these herbs, your teeth get whiter, your eyes get shinier, you get healthier, you get a six-pack, and all that will happen. That's what these guys are trying to do for you, while saving the planet from carbon, saving the planet from pollution and everything else, of food waste and other things that comes with that. So it's going to happen. And it's people like Paulo and his hub which are putting this thing together, but it's an effort. It's a big effort to bring independent companies together to play together nicely. Ecosystems are hard to build. Ecosystem requires a lot of governance, and as governance, trust. And in that governance, everybody needs to feel it's a win-win-win. And if somebody doesn't win, they'll stop playing. And behind that has to be results. And that comes through implementation, which is what Paulo says. You have to implement. And through that, you build trust. So with that, my advice to all of you, reach out to Paulo. If you're in the food industry, reach out to Paulo. If you are building a hub, because there's insights on how to build a hub, reach out to Paulo. If you're doing something which is in parallel industries like beauty and skincare products, it's just the same as making food. It's ingredients packaged together with packaging and formulation and safety. The parallel industries also. But reach out to Paulo, because here's a man who's leading the change, and stay close to him. And maybe you can be part of that story that he's making. Thank you very much, Paulo, for being here. And what a great presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation.